Hello, hello, and welcome to episode number 92 of CoCreative NoCode's Office Hours. I'm here with Thomas and Brittany and Kim as usual, and we're going to get started in just a moment. But if this is your first time tuning in, either live on Facebook or watching the replay on YouTube, we do office hours every single day of the week, Monday through Friday, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 a.m. Pacific time, and Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Pacific time. If you would like to get in on office hours, there are a couple different ways you can do that. You can sign up at CoCreativeNoCode.com and go ahead and subscribe to become a member. It's just $49 per month and you get access to all of the live Zooms. Or if you just want to come in and check it out one time, see what it's like, you can do that at no charge. We offer our members at CoCreative NoCode's Facebook group a free session. Just go ahead and comment on the live in the group and Kim will send you the details to join our next live session. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can email us at team@CoCreativeNoCode.com. Welcome, Brittany and Thomas. How are you?
Doing good.
Good. And Brittany, I think you had something to start us off with tonight. Should I let you share your screen?
Yes, sure.
All right.
Okay, so recently I made a messenger portion to my app so that users can message each other.
Sure.
And so within this, the only thing that I'm concerned about now is trying to send a notification to the email address that the user signed up with once they receive a message. So I'm trying to figure out how to do that.
Sure. So tell me a little bit about when you want to notify them. Do you want to notify them after every message, or do you want to notify them if they haven't seen the message in and it's been 3 minutes, or?
Yeah, so not necessarily after every message, because they could be logged in at the moment and seeing some of the messages. So maybe I guess like within 30 minutes, or I don't know the usual time, but I don't want it to be like exactly when the message is sent.
Got it. So and then are you monitoring when a message has been read? I think we were talking about that the other day.
Yes.
Okay. So have you ever done anything with back-end workflows?
No, never.
Let me open your world. You're going to love these things. So if you'll go to where it says page conversations at the top left. All right, we need to sign you up for it. So actually click out of that and go to settings and go to API. And then click where it says at the very top, enable workflow API and backend workflows. And then you're on a paid plan?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So now if you go back to where it says page conversations, see at the bottom where it says backend workflows?
Oh, I see.
Yeah, you didn't have that before, now you do, which is awesome. So go ahead and click to add a backend workflow and I'll explain what you're looking at. So in the general tab here, you have new API workflow. This just means that you're going to schedule that workflow from your regular page. So wherever it is that the regular workflow is happening, you would do an action that schedules that workflow. The same is true for a new recurring event. The difference is when you schedule a new recurring event, at the place where you schedule it, you will also tell Bubble how often that event should recur. And on the less expensive plan, I think you can't do daily recurring events. I think you can only do weekly recurring. And then but I have a workaround for that, so don't stress. And then there's the new database trigger event, and that is going to, if you had something happening, like let's say you have a new API workflow. So you have an API workflow happening and it's been scheduled into the future, and then that future date comes and happens and you change something in the database, based on conditions, right?
Mhm.
If you make a change to any field in any of your data types, you can trigger a workflow based on that change happening. And that's what the database trigger event is for. And it's pretty awesome. So in your case, what we're going to want to do is a new API workflow. And we'll call this send message notification. So it should probably be all lowercase. And then it should also have an underscore between each word. Okay. And then add a parameter, and the parameter should probably be user. So click where
right here.
Nope, where it says add a new parameter.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And so the key would be user. And it's going to be of type user. And then you're going to put add another parameter. And I would say message. And that will also be of type message. Okay. And then what you want to do is see here, at whatever rate, were you thinking 30 minutes, you said?
It doesn't have to necessarily, because like you said, I know that on my plan, I may not be able to send that recurring
you
message.
can. No, it's fine. You're fine. That's not a recurring one. That's scheduled. So that's fine.
Okay, gotcha.
So 30 minutes is fine.
Okay.
So then go ahead and click to add an action under that workflow. And the action is going to be under email and send email. And you'll send it to the user's email. Yep.
Current user or just
user.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, the reason you're going to use user here and not current user is because the notification needs to go to the other person.
Right. Okay.
Right. So user's email, and then you can enter the sender name and all of that fun stuff. At the bottom, if you scroll down, only when message, what is it? Read?
I have it as unread.
Unread? Okay. Okay, so the unread contains the users who have not yet read it.
Right.
Okay. Only when messages unread contains user.
Oh, I have it as yes, no.
Oh, got it. Yeah, so you're gonna need to have it as yeah, usually what we do is we make the read or the unread a list of users. Typically, we make it as like a read receipt, and it will contain the users who have seen the message.
Okay, so let me go back into the
to your data.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So this is the conversation list of users. So I would put that in under user.
Nope, under messages.
Oh, okay.
So in there, I would say like you can make this read READ. I would do. There you go. Read messages or read message, either way. And then it's going to be user, and it's going to be a list of users. And then what happens is when you create the message, you're going to add the creator to that list already. And so the one who won't be there will be this user. So,
okay, so let me go to that
the workflow.
Yeah. Sure. I'm a little confused on how to get out of here.
Go to the back click where it says backend workflows.
Oh, okay.
and switch back to the page.
Okay, this is all new to me, the back end.
No worries.
Okay, so how I have it, well, I think it's in a pop-up. Hold on. So when button send is clicked, parent group users created is current user. Create new message. So I have it separated. I had to do two workflows because one is the creator and one is the recipient. So
so if you think about it, probably not, because the whenever you're looking at the messages page, you're the current user and you are sending messages. So they're both the creators of the messages and the recipients, right? It just depends on who creates it.
I think the way that I had it, the only reason why, let me go to, I wish I could, let me see. So the reason why I did that was so that the messages could be on different staggered, hold on.
Sure.
Kind of staggering. There may be another way to do it, but I didn't want them to be all set up on the same, same row type thing.
Sure. So, she's got a mind like ours, Thomas. Look at that. That looks great.
And then I wanted the pictures, to be associated with.
Who sent the message?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you did great.
Why I had it set up that way.
What was that, Thomas?
I was asking if she did that all by herself.
Yeah, I think she did.
Actually, I didn't. I would love to take all the credit, but I did some research, Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, you did the research and you got it working by yourself. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, we give you credit for that. That's amazing. Yeah, we actually have several segments where Thomas and I built out a messenger. Yeah, not that long ago.
It's kind of difficult, but a little confusing.
Tonya was the savior, though. She was very helpful.
Yeah.
We feel your pain as well. So okay. So I still think, though, that the send button at the bottom is just going to be one workflow.
Okay.
Because you're not going to have whoever's clicking that send button is the message
going to
creator.
Be the current user.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, so let's delete the recipient, right?
Yep. Okay. And then you can take off that condition because it's not going to matter.
Parent groups users. Okay. Oh, I can just no, because that would delete.
No, you can. Yeah, just if you right click, you can clear the expression.
Okay. All right.
Yep. And now you're going to create that new message, which is correct. Step 1. And then you want to put under the red field, you want to add current user.
Oh.
I thought you did that already.
I thought so. I don't know what.
Let's go back and check because something's wrong. I know we added messages. Oh, red message. That's what we're looking for.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Oh.
But why wasn't it showing that?
I didn't see it.
Red message. There we go. And then add current user. No, I like, we can go back and watch the replay, but I feel like it wasn't there.
Yeah, I didn't see it the first time either.
Okay, so red message, add current user. And then so that's perfect. And now you're going to make changes to the conversation. Let me see the changes you're making to the conversation. Yeah, so here's the thing. You can probably get away with having a list of messages here for a little while. But the problem is that Bubble limits your list of things to 10,000. Okay. And if you actually have users sending messages back and forth, at a good clip, you could burn through that 10,000 really quickly. And
Right.
so if you're basing your user interface, like your repeating group, based on a list of messages from the conversation, then your messenger could break. So I
Okay.
actually don't recommend adding the message to the conversations, but if you
So, okay, go ahead. Sorry.
oh no, that's okay. So you can if you want to. I'm not saying that you can't. I'm just saying I recommend against it because it's not standard practice with messengers in general, and I can kind of potentially see a problem with it. It's fine while your app is small, right?
Mhm.
And if people are just sending a few messages back and forth.
Right.
But if you go back to step 1, create new message, see how you have the conversation is set to the parent
Mhm.
group's conversation. That's the only link you need in order to do the to show
Okay.
the messages in order. So you already have it referenced. You don't have to double reference that way.
Okay, so I can take this whole step off of
Um,
making changes to conversation.
Yep, you can.
Okay.
Yep. And then resetting the relevant inputs is good. And then scroll to entry is good. So now we're going to add that new API at the end. So click to add an action and go down to custom events and then schedule API workflow. So you only have one.
Mhm.
Yep. And then for this is where you're going to do your timing. So if you want them to be updated every 30 minutes or however often you want it.
Okay. And I would do that. Do I need to put something in front of? I guess?
No, I would say current date and time. And then you're going to add minutes probably.
And
And
then just
then
type in like,
whatever you want that interval to be.
I'll just leave it.
Got it. And then if you go to the user, is going to be not the current user, it's going to be the other user.
So it will be the current page converse. No, that's not a user.
So let's go to somewhere in your repeating group, you have a reference to the user that it is, because that's how you're constraining the repeating group.
So this group here or this repeating group?
This group, the middle one, the one with the conversation happening.
Okay.
Yep. So go to parent groups conversations list of messages. So click on parent groups conversation. How do we get that parent groups conversation? So when you click on the person's name on the left.
On this.
Yep, on the
over
other
here.
repeating.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to get okay, I know how to do it. Go back to the workflow. So we're gonna say the user is going to be parent group conversations, list of users, and then filter. Just typing filter. Add a new constraint where what is that? Where I would say user, list of users. Oh, okay, maybe scroll all the way to the bottom. Is there like a unique ID? Yeah.
Yes.
Unique ID is not equal. So it's, nope, is not equal, is the not right below the equal sign. There you
Okay.
go. Current user. Okay. And then, oh, sorry, current user's unique ID. And then under behind filtered, we'll just say first item.
Okay.
So what we just did was we took the list of the users in the conversation and we picked out the first item that's not the current user.
Okay.
Yep. Does that make sense?
Kind of.
Kind of, sort of. Yeah. So that we need to make sure that we're notifying the other user, and all we really had easy access to was a list of users, and we
Right,
know
okay.
at least one of them is the current user.
Right.
So that was just how we took that list and narrowed it down to the to
Gotcha.
not being the current user.
Okay, I understand.
Yep. And then the message would be the result of step 1. Okay. And then if you go to back to your backend workflows. And then the only when on the send email. And scroll down is messages and click that is red message.
We're gonna put red message instead of the unread.
Yep.
Right. Okay.
So red message doesn't contain a user. The very top one. Yep. So this means that it'll only send that email out if they haven't already read that message.
Okay.
So every time a message is sent to someone on the platform, an email is scheduled, but that email will only go if they haven't read that message.
Right. Okay. And just for your opinion, is 30 minutes too short of a time of a notification? Because the only reason why I didn't want it to be too too long of a time was because they're going to be doing work for certain people. So if they have a question to ask about the work that they're doing, you would want to get that answer, kind of ASAP. So I don't know if that's too close of a time to be.
Yeah, I maybe need to ask Juan how he handles this in situations. So like for Slack, for instance, I get a notification if I've been inactive for like 30 seconds or whatever.
Mhm.
And to me, that's helpful because I like to know what's coming in and what's going on.
Mhm.
So the thing is if we're doing it for it, I guess it doesn't really matter. We also probably want to be able to cancel the previous API workflow, but then you would never get the message, like if they were, I'm trying to think through the consequences of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think 1 to 3 minutes is probably the right interval. Like if someone hasn't seen it in 3 minutes, it means they're not active anymore
Okay.
on the platform. So
Okay.
yeah, I'd probably go with 3.
Okay, let me change it. I had no clue, so I just came up with the number. So where did I put that information? I can't remember.
Yeah, oh, on the regular workflows. So you have to go back
Okay.
to the other page. In the schedule workflow. There you go.
Okay.
So yeah, you could just change that to 3. And then the only thing I'm concerned about, and I'll kind of check this with someone, is like, I mean, if you have someone rapidly messaging like I do, like sometimes I'll send 100 messages in like 2 minutes to someone. That's going to be like 100 different workflows scheduled.
Mhm.
And I just want to be like I don't know, cognizant of how that might impact your capacity, your app's capacity.
Okay.
So I'll think on that and come back to you on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Was there anything else?
From me, or you're moving on?
No, from you, because
Oh.
Thomas said he didn't really have anything. Maybe he came up with something in the meantime.
I actually do have something else on this same page. So let me share my screen again.
Sure.
I was just trying to make sure I wasn't hogging all the time. So I have this I think both of these groups are set up as yes, vertical scrolling. The scrolling is ugly to me, and I'm trying to like, I don't like this bar. Is there any way to, like, I don't know,
Hide a scroll bar?
not well, if can we change it? Like, you know, the little slender,
Sure.
I just don't know how to do that.
Yeah, so I think at one point we figured out how to hide scroll bars using CSS. But you might be interested in a plugin that we use.
Okay.
Let me share with you what Thomas and I built. Actually, Thomas,
Okay.
can you share with her what we built on your app? Because since it's better.
Sure.
Awesome.
1 second as I gather myself here. All
For those of you who have been following the foster cat saga, our baby cat is having the rest of her leg amputated tomorrow.
Oh God, it's devastating.
Yeah.
Why?
Because her,
All
like, we
three?
don't, no, just the rest of the one leg. Because she had a partial leg.
Oh,
She was
shit,
just
okay,
missing her paw. So, and it looked fine. And then all of a sudden last night, like, it was like the end of it, like a tendon was popping out. So we're like, oh no. So we got her
Oh,
into
yeah.
the vet today.
We missed like all of that, to be honest. I think you went on mute.
Oh no, I didn't actually. This time I didn't. This
Oh,
was
okay, so
just,
it's fine.
yeah, this was just Zoom protecting your ears.
I keep forgetting you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm super ADHD. Give me 1 second.
No worries.
So we are looking at,
I thought I heard you say the rest of her legs.
No,
like,
just the
why?
rest of her leg. Yeah.
devastating.
Yeah.
That's
So
crazy.
she was doing fine, but all of a sudden, like, the end of it was damaged yesterday. And so we're like, we got her into the vet and they decided they needed to amputate. So.
Hope it still works.
No.
Oh yeah, me too. I hope it still works, but it's okay if it doesn't.
I always come up with the craziest names.
So we still have the scroll bar happening. But what we did, Brittany, is we
What?
made it.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Oh, okay, that's right. You're. I'm like trying to fix it as you're trying to explain. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Oh,
No worries.
You're good.
No, so we put we used a reverse repeating group plugin by Zero Code. It cost, I think, $25 one time.
I'm actually
And
not using.
you're using the other one, the free one.
I managed to annoy the plugin owner to the point where he showed me everything.
Oh, that's awesome. Maybe we
Yeah.
should do that. That's what we should do tonight, is you can teach us how.
Sure. Yeah. Whenever you
Yeah.
guys are. You're ready.
Yeah, so what it does is it reverses the scrolling of the repeating group so that when you scroll, it moves up and goes to the older messages. Right. And so it automatically defaults to the latest message at the bottom.
Okay.
And then what we do is we don't have the actual chat window or messenger window that part is totally in the screen at all times.
I'm trying to remember because there was Brittany in regards to like customizing it. The plugin owner actually had put a scroll bar that was specifically customized. It was so ugly that I just like erased it, but it was in the CSS. It was a text that was referenced through an ID attribute. I don't know if that made any sense at all. Let me look for it for a second. One moment. No. Where was it? Is it? No.
The goal of this, by the way, Brittany, was we were trying to replicate Facebook's functionality.
Yeah.
So Facebook on desktop, you have they'll show you up to 3 different message windows at the same time, but allow you to scroll through your feed.
Right.
Yeah. So we were just copying that. But the point of this was to show you the single like messenger window.
Here it is. Using arbitrary text. I still don't understand what this is, but it seems like this is an HTML element that you can find right over here in the visual element section. So what the individual did here was they use arbitrary text, which allows you to style inside. In this case, I'm styling the cells ID, which is, nope. Yeah, it's just referencing this stuff over here. I can go into deeper detail, of course. I just have to like look at it a little longer and make sure I'm communicating what I need to communicate. But it seems like through the use of this here arbitrary text.
Find and replace. That's pretty cool.
Find and replace. Yeah, I didn't know about this at all. I didn't know you could communicate. So what this HTML element is doing is communicating with this, and it's just finding and replacing.
Right.
I guess these repeating groups, and these are connected. I'm not very good at explaining this, but
I understand. I'm just by looking, I think it's really cool that you can even do that. Like that's crazy.
I have an email thread that I could probably copy and paste and just send it to you guys or to you directly.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I think to your question, yes, there's a way that you can control the scrolling of the group, not just styling the scroll bar, but also like changing how the scroll works fundamentally. And it might make it easier for your users to chat that way.
I figured out the problem. I erased everything, all the data.
That explains it.
That's it. I wish I explained what I explained a little better, to be honest. I was like,
I put you on the spot.
I'm like,
It's all right.
It's me right now. But yeah.
All right, go for it, Thomas.
So, have you worked with any of the Slack plugins by any chance? Like an actual application?
I have not.
Yeah.
I've not worked with any of the Slack plugins.
There's a few. AirDev has one. And
I've used email to like send notifications into Slack.
Yeah.
As sort of a hack around it, because I wasn't trying to like, I don't know. The whole reason I needed a Slack integration was I needed to alert people to go to the app. And so what I did was I created, I can show you. Let's go to Slack. All right, go to. Stop trying to annoy me. Okay, so like if you want to, here, I'll talk to Kim. There we go. If you want to set up like an email for a channel, you can. There's like, I don't know if you have to have it already installed, but you can go into Slack and you can manage your apps and you can set up emails to go into a specific channel. And then you can just set your notifications to that channel to whatever you want them to be. And so that was how I was like getting messages into people.
Was that your way of just not having to put Slack elements into your application?
Yeah, so I didn't have to integrate, I didn't have to do anything special to integrate with Slack, right? So because I know I can send an email from my application and to any email address I want. And so that's what I did. I just created those workflows to send emails to particular email addresses that would arrive inside of a Slack channel. So I've done that.
So you're communicating, just to recap, you're communicating through email to a Slack channel.
Exactly.
Cool. So that's so every theoretically every user in a group could communicate through email.
Yeah, so like if you wanted something to happen where a bunch of people are notified, just make sure all of those people are in the same Slack channel that's receiving the email.
Gotcha. Yeah. So everybody can communicate through email, and everything will still show up on the Slack channel.
I don't. So when you say communicate by email, I mean the
Yes.
app is sending the email.
The app is sending the email. Okay. I misunderstood. I thought what you meant to say was that the user could send an email and then they would receive it
In Bubble?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean that's a different thing entirely. I've done that as well, but
Yeah.
but in terms of a Slack, like what's the purpose behind the question? Did you have like an integration in mind?
Yeah, I had an integration in mind, and in particular, it's just in reference to the application I'm working on right now. I'll tell you a little more about it when I speak to you, but just briefly, I want it to be used as a contribution tool, a tool just within the app that would be easy access. And I haven't thought too far ahead about it, and I'm curious to know if it's even necessary to integrate it into the application. Really, what I want to know is like, if I did so, right? What would it cause bugginess in the application? Would it just take up a lot of space from just the front end?
Oh, like to integrate with Slack? I mean, so your integrations with different services, like even when you're using a plugin, is mostly just like when you're using a plugin to integrate with another third-party service, it's just using the API connector, right? So which is its own thing in Bubble, right? So if I go to my plugins and I go to my API connector, here I've got like the virtual data thing that Eli had done, like this line item sortable or whatever. Like this is just me setting up a connection to an API, usually using a key value pair, which includes a token, gives me permission to access some third party API. And then I make the call to the API here. And then I can use that call anywhere. Like I can use it in workflows if I set this to be action type, or I can use it as data if I set it to be data type. All your plugins that are integrating with third parties, they're just doing this. That's
Right.
all they're doing, right? So there's no added clunkiness or bugginess. I mean, there are buggy plugins out there. Don't get me wrong, but no, it's not gonna. It should be fine.
Gotcha. Good to know. Yeah, I'll do some research. That's pretty new.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to complain, Bubble. Today marks the official, so I know I marked the year since I had learned about Bubble. Today marks a year since I started trying to learn it. So
Yeah, I feel you. Like I picked it up in November. Not even. I picked it up in like December, but I didn't really pick it up until February.
like I kind of put it on my wish list of things I wanted to learn on August 10th. And then I went back and I looked at my calendar and it was August 24th when I decided to take 2 weeks fully off from my business. And
Nice.
it was the middle of pandemic quarantine. Not that we're not in the middle of pandemic quarantine now. But it was sort of still early on in those days. So I wasn't going anywhere. And I was like, what will I do with my time off? And I decided to learn Bubble. And I never went back to my business. I've just been bubbling ever since.
You never showed up.
Yep. So let's see. Is there anything we can do to improve your experience? Not that you haven't heard this before. What do you think I would say?
That plugin library though.
Improve the plugin. I think I'm going responsive first.
Yeah.
The
Well, no.
new responsive.
Apparently, what's his name? Someone tested it apparently. So,
Yes, it was Justin Hume. I work with him. We're
Okay.
actually doing some really cool stuff together when he gets back from his daddy-daughter camp on the 26th.
Oh.
We've got a couple things in the works, but he got to test the responsive engine, and the way they did it was they like zoomed with you and they watched over your shoulder as you used it. It's like they didn't just give you access. They like
Wait, say that again.
So Justin Hume signed up to be one of their beta testers for the responsive engine. And so he said that they zoomed with him and then he shared his screen and watched him use it.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Cool. Yeah, that's straight usability test. That's awesome. Super cool. Apparently he said it was good last I read.
too slow and clunky.
There you go.
I was just typing my comments for Bubble. I'm doing it publicly.
You know what would be really cool to do? The very slight in the privacy section. Privacy settings?
Uh-huh. Privacy rules. What about it?
Yeah, if you just click in there, I guess you're still in this pop-up. I don't know if it'll show, but the what do they call it? The radio buttons
Uh-huh.
are too far from each other, too far from the description of the specific thing.
Oh yeah, that's funny. Yes, I've noticed that as well.
Really annoying, actually, in my opinion, because I'm like looking at it, I'm like, is it?
But it's not just privacy. It's like you're talking here.
No, just set up a rule and then you'll see what I mean.
Oh yeah.
You all fields is all the way to the right. It's so much closer to the text on the right than it is to the left, so it can be confusing.
It is confusing. I also find that's true in the settings. Like this is crazy.
Wow.
Who can keep track of which line you're on?
I would have just moved the text all the way to the right.
And look at that. That's crazy. That's crazy. Like I know they're not trying to be responsive. I get that, but like this, that's not great. Okay, get with it, Bubble. That's the message here. Get with it.
Come on, Emmanuel.
My largest Bubble apps performance.
So I have a quick question.
Yeah,
Just to make sure I'm doing this right. So I'm gonna share my screen really quickly.
sure.
So when I filled out the send email, do I use users and would that translate correctly? Because I have two different type of users. One is a business owner, one is a freelancer. So I put two different dynamic datas in here. So is that correct?
So this is going to be the name of the person who sends the email.
Right.
So do you want the email to be coming from the app, or do you want it to be coming from the other user or the same user who's receiving the email? Because what it's talking about is, here, let me show you.
Okay.
Do not freak out, those of you with obsessive compulsive personality. It's talking about here.
Oh, okay.
So this is what it's asking for, is what do you
Okay.
want to go here?
No, I want it to come from the app. I want that portion to be the app name, I'm guessing. So how
Okay. So how does your app know your app name?
I have no clue.
That's a good point. Okay, so the way that that we do this with Canvas is Canvas has a data type, and it used to be called website, and now it's called something else, but like app settings or something like that. And all of your app wide information, like your app's name, is stored in a field on that one thing in that data type. So it's a whole separate thing in the database. And that way, the reason to do that is because then you can refer to it dynamically here in that sender name section. But if you ever decided to change the name of your app and you're referencing it through that dynamic data, you only have to go to one place to change it, and it's changed everywhere else.
Okay.
Yep.
Alrighty.
So did that make sense? So if you go to data, you could create a new type called app info.
Okay.
And then create a field under app info called app name.
Okay.
And make that text. And then go to app data. Now here's the thing, is if you create that in your development database, you're also going to need to copy that over into the live database, or it won't be available.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you go to app data and you create an app info, so all app info, scroll up.
A sec. Oh, there we go.
And then you'll have a new entry. And you'll just set it there.
I'll just leave it like that.
Yep. And now what you do is you just refer to, you'll do a search for app infos, and you'll just have the first item. App info. And then just the first item. Yep. App name.
Oh. Why is this?
Yeah, it's tricky. You can delete it if you want to, but you don't have to either.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to put in. I just put oh, I wanted to make sure that this was right. I wanted to put the user's name within the email. So hopefully that's right.
You have a new message from, and then I would say go to select message.
Okay.
Users, like the list of users on it.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that.
Oh, you need to add that. We need a list of users for it.
Under messages?
Okay. So, yep, users. And then of type user, and it's a list. Yep. And then message and then users. And then you're going to filter. And it'll be the unique ID does not equal user unique ID. And then first item.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
And then you can select their name or their business name.
Okay, so I just copy this expression and put username the next time. Okay. I think. So that way, if it's coming from either or, okay. All righty.
Yep.
Thanks.
You're welcome. All right, what else can I help you with?
I'm good. I'll probably, I still gotta get on Calendly, so I don't know
Okay.
if to do it later this week or.
If I'm not available, just shoot me a message on Messenger and we'll figure it out. Because I have a lot of projects, so I've blocked a lot of my time off, but I can always work you in.
Based off of that, do you want to try it? Is next week better for you?
No, next
No?
week won't be better for me, so we should do it this week.
Okay. Gotcha. Sounds good.
Next week, there's a whole week between now and then, so I might take on 10 new projects. You never know.
I don't even understand how you do this, but God bless you.
I just took on 6 of them yesterday, so.
Insane. How is that? How do you maintain like mental sanity? I don't understand. I barely deal with one.
Well, you know that like the Pareto principle, right? So it's like only 20% of my apps are really taking up and like 80% of my time. So yeah, it's more like, I mean, there's a lot of juggling involved, but I'm getting better at it, which is good.
Nice. Well,
I do. I have another question.
Sure.
Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so I have an issue with this slider menu bar. So here is, I have some data.
I can already tell this is a Thomas question.
I'm trying to collapse the work orders word to make it come here, you know, when there's nothing showing there, because I have let me see. I have something popping up here, but only if they are freelancer and only if they're a business owner will it show. So when no one's logged in, it's just like this big empty spot. So I'm going to try to show you. And I thought I had it set up correctly. It just, I don't know, maybe I'm not doing something. So you see how this is just there.
Yeah, so I'd actually, I mean, there's a couple, I saw some other suggestions on how to do this, but essentially you can't really do what you want to do easily until they release a new responsive engine, which is going to allow us to collapse things horizontally. So what you'll do instead is those 2 groups that you have showing when someone is logged in, I would put them on the end instead.
Okay.
And that way the work orders is right next to home. And that way, like, you don't have to worry about it.
Right. Yeah. Okay. That was an easy fix. I don't know why I didn't think about it.
Because you're too close to your own project, which happens to all of us.
Right. Okay. Well,
I'm trying to like learn how to keep myself away from that mentality. Because
I don't
I find that
know that it can.
it's very it's that obsessiveness over one's app is not. I think the more I don't know. I guess I've seen it in my own self. Just makes me move slower, right? So
The keyword for that, Kim, I guess, was horizontal responsiveness. Or the lack thereof in Bubble. Awesome. Well, what are we going to do tomorrow, Thomas? Do we have any plans for our build along?
have you started working with Beck in this?
I actually have my meeting right after our office hours tomorrow. Will be my first meeting, like really seeing it. Although I can show you, it's kind of cool. Eli, like, he's mentioned me a couple times on Twitter about it, which is kind of cool. So yeah. So he's like, I'm about halfway through, and this is what it looks like so far.
Damn.
Yeah. So that's the project. That's the
I
work.
understand what's going on. I guess he's just like a, yeah. I don't know. But
So
yeah, you can't talk about it. I was gonna ask like what it's about.
I mean, you can read this. It's about property stuff. So
Oh, is that?
it's real estate stuff.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think that's a secret.
Well, I guess the intention is just dealing with a lot of data.
It's a lot of data, and it's not just a lot of like data per thing in the database. It's like a lot of things in the database, right? So there's part of it is setting up the structure, but part of it is also preparing to handle like millions of records.
I forgot to ask Eli. I wanted to ask, but you had mentioned you had mentioned it, and then he had mentioned it also. He was working with another type of database called Dynamo. I don't know.
Xano?
Say again?
Xano? It's spelled Xano.
I don't know where I got Dino.
Yeah.
I wanted to know what the difference between this is and back in this.
Yeah, so I'm gonna ask Eli that tomorrow. Like, which is he liking better? And then I lost it. I'm so silly because I thought I'd be able to find it again. And I was trying earlier today, but both Eli and Nigel Godfrey commented on someone else's tweet the other day who was using a third one that I had never heard of, but I'm interested to know about. So, and I think it started with an A, and it kind of reminded me of Algolia, but it's not Algolia. And yeah, and it might have reminded me of it because I think they mentioned Algolia in there. But yeah, I gotta find the name of that. I'm gonna ask Eli tomorrow for that as well.
Talking of which, I forgot where I wrote it down. You had mentioned open source search. What was it called?
Oh yeah, I think I saved that in my workflow.
I don't know where I saved it somewhere, and I can't find where I saved it.
It's MeiliSearch.
Miley, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so MEILI search. Yeah. MeiliSearch, scalable, maintainable, customizable, extensive tool set, and it's supposed to be next generation search API. It's open source, blazingly fast, and hyper relevant. Those are its claims. I have not tried it yet.
Have you spoken to anyone that has, by any chance?
No, but someone, I thought maybe the person who created it or whatever had mentioned it in one of the big Bubble groups. So like you might be able to find that person, or I can look for that person if you want.
I'll definitely reach out. I'm sorry about the background noise. I'm cooking.
What are you cooking?
I am making a nice little salad: kale, onions, and chicken. That's my lead.
Nice.
With
Yeah,
everyone.
no, my thing is like when I would make my own salads, like I would do a big thing. Like,
Yeah,
I love
I'm
my
a
salads.
fast eater, and I'm like, I have a buddy of mine who like makes love to his food. You know, he like takes his time, drinks wine. I'm like, I don't got time to do all that. I don't know how you have time to do all that. Cool. Hey guys, after.
So I don't know who he is to them, but this guy was posting on behalf of this guy. So
Kaptani? Yeah.
yeah,
Is
Kipton.
that just a regular bubble group there?
Yep, just a big
Okay.
bubble group.
Gotcha. I'll just pop in there and see what's up.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, I don't know what we're going to be doing tomorrow, but we'll do something cool together. We're back here at, what was that?
Nothing. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Yeah. We're going to be back here at 10 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow. We're going to have the first hour is our normal Q&A, and then the second hour, we're going to figure out what we're going to build together and have some fun. If you would like to join us for a complimentary session of CoCreative NoCode's office hours, please do comment on the live in the Facebook group, and Kim will send you the details, or you can email us at team@CoCreativeNoCode.com, and we will send you the details to join us for a complimentary session. We'd love to have you. Thank you everyone for being here, Thomas and Brittany and Kim. Love seeing you as always, and hope to see you tomorrow.
Right. Bye, guys.
Good night.